Good afternoon. I'm Jim Ray with the Road to the Autry Masters. We're here talking with Brittany Weistling, who's an artist in the Master of the American West. She's actually a second generation artist in the Masters show. Both her mother, JoAnn Peralta, continues in the show, and her father, Morgan Weistling, had been in the Masters show for many years. They're both highly acclaimed artists, and Brittany is a well-acclaimed artist in her own right. Welcome, Brittany. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me, Jim.
So, Brittany, I just mentioned that you're the daughter of a couple of pretty prominent artists. What can you tell us about your artistic upbringing and what it's been like to be a professional artist on this stage?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to have been trained pretty much all my life by two renowned artists. So to me, Morgan is dad and JoAnn is mom, and so sometimes yeah, I kind of remind myself when I walk into one of their studios and see what they're creating, it's like, yep, that's pretty crazy what they're capable of. And yeah, just being able to have been just taught by two of the greats has been, I know, like a big blessing for me. And so I want to carry the legacy that they both have cultivated and made through their art, and kind of carry it on.
How old were you when you first started dabbling in art?
Well, I mean, technically 3, just with scribbling. Yeah, just really, really young. And I was first into making little sculptures. I was really into that, like 3D little. I've always loved miniature things, and so when I was a kid, that was my favorite thing. I gravitated towards that, and then as I got older, it became more 2D media, so drawing, and then eventually oil painting, especially around high school age. And 16 was or 15 was when I was invited to be a guest artist at the Autry Masters show.
Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about what you're working on for the Masters in 2023.
So my signature piece is a piece called Country Roses, and you can see it. It's actually back behind me right there. So what I was wanting to emulate and pay homage to was some of the paintings in the romanticism movement, so like 1800s, that sort of era. I love John Singer Sargent and some of the great masters of that time, and I wanted to highlight just the beauty of nature being in the background, since a lot of those type of paintings were they always depicted the beauty and the idealization of nature, but I wanted to mesh that with the Western genre. So the wagon in the painting, I in the story, the narrative of my painting, it was used to take this young girl's family across the Oregon Trail, and so it carried them across the landscape, and then on their farm they left that wagon, and it's now in their pasture, and so it's now become a part of the landscape. So what once took her family across now has become part of the landscape. And I'm lucky enough to live in an area where nearby there's a ranch, and that's where this wagon in real life actually sits. And it's a part of that family's history who owns the ranch. So I want it, like, evoked in me wanting to pick the history of this wagon and the beauty of a living soul, who is the young girl in the painting. And so there's this spiritual connection in keeping the memories of the past alive.
You know, I recall some of your early efforts that, in fact, I recall seeing you at the Autry/CAC paint out in the past, where you were painting these beautiful pictures of the roses and flowers and so on that were in the surrounding. How much of an effort was it for you to begin to do figurative work, painting from life?
It went through a little bit of a rough period. I think every artist who gets into figurative or portraiture knows how hard it is to learn how to draw and then paint a face. And I definitely went through that training and took workshops, took classes, took, you know, everything I could. And then once I got the hang of it, I just fell in love with portraits and just making something look real, just having eyes come to life, things like that. So I still love painting. I love still lifes and I love figurative work. And so this painting is a blending of the two, which was really fun for me.
Oh, great. So tell us a little bit about your inspiration. How do you dream up the types of things that the types of subject that you want to approach? And do you sense that that's going to stay the same? Do you sense that there's going to be some evolution as you go out into the future? How do you think about those things?
I think there's always going to be evolution. I'm always going to be evolving my taste and what I want, what inspires me. I think anything really can spark something in me, whether it be a film that kind of evokes a certain mood, and I want to depict that mood, but in my own way, in a still image. Or it could be an artist or a painting from the past. I love a lot of the old masters like Vermeer, and to do something of my own and kind of use a seed of inspiration from someone way better who came before me, but have my own flair, and bring my own originality to something new. So I feel like I'm constantly evolving in what I'm interested in. I kind of shift from wanting to do figures, and then still lifes, and then I'm kind of dabbling with more complex pieces. And so a little bit of everything. I don't want to limit myself. So I feel like wherever I can get inspiration and just let it lead me and see where it goes.
Great. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll look forward to seeing you in February at the Masters Show. And thanks again for taking some time to talk with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jim.